All right. So, welcome firstly to Kevin, and welcome to everyone who's joined back for this week's episode. Kevin, I think this is probably like the second podcast we've done. Obviously, the last one there's some technical issues on my behalf, so we had to re-record, which is a pain in the backside, but we're here. And then we've actually had a lot of chats. Like for someone that I've only met, how long are we like? Have we been talking? How the fuck did we even start talking?
No, I think you joined my live one
Actually,
time or something.
yeah. So that's what it was. Yeah, you're on a live, and I was asking you loads of questions because we were having a chat. I think it was about your podcast, and because like you have been doing it for a little bit longer, well, a good bit longer than I have, and you asked me to come on, and I was like, "Oh, I'll come on tomorrow," and then it literally just went from there. But like I didn't, because you sounded Dublinish compared to the other lads, and well, the lad and the girl that you deal with, you sounded, you can tell by their accents that they're not from Dublin. I won't say
Yeah,
culture or anything because that's probably offensive or something. But
yeah.
yeah. So I heard you were from Dublin, and then I found out you were from Malahide, which is literally not even a, as they say, in the whatever, this a stone's throw away or whatever. So you're Kevin Meggs. I guess for the people that don't know you, I guess we'll do them the courtesy of you introducing yourself.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? My name's Kevin, and I mean, all I think of myself is just a 16-year-old lad from Ireland. But I like filmmaking is probably my main thing. I like making short films, videos. I'm doing a podcast with two other Irish creators, and yeah, I've always been that kid with the camera. I've always been a kid who likes filming, and yeah, been doing that for a while, and yeah, that's about it.
Cameras are expensive though. Fuck me.
So,
Like,
well, a lot of people can make excuses saying, "Oh, the reason I don't do film or video, and it's because my cameras are too expensive or this is too expensive." Meanwhile, they have like an iPhone 10 or something like that. The
exactly.
quality of those phones is amazing. So there's no point in saying,
Actually, I saw
"Oh,
something. Do you know something funny? I was watching this now, and it's about iPhones. And the iPhone isn't even a HD or a QLED or an OLED or whatever. The camera's not even that good. If you compare it to a Samsung, like I had the Samsung 10 because I work, so that was like the only indulgence I really spend in. Besides the when I got myself this laptop, but I bought myself the phones, and like when I looked at them, even though the iPhone came out after, the quality of the screen display, the camera is a lot better on like not iPhone, is it? Geez, better on Samsung. And I think a lot of
yeah,
people hate on Android.
no,
Android,
do literally for for my entire life. Well, as long as I've had phones and any piece of technology, it's always been Samsung, or Android anyway. Because my dad, he has something against Apple. I don't know what he has against Apple. He just doesn't like them for some
same with
reason.
mine.
He's never,
I think they just. Uh, I think iPhone's a fad or a fashion or whatever you want to call it.
yeah, I mean, like he's like I asked him why do you hate iPhone so much. That just because he hasn't even really given me a reason for it, but he just
Yeah,
doesn't
or,
like
or
them.
when or when they give you reasons, they're justifiable.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
he told me that, but yeah, but like I've had Samsungs my entire life. Then last Christmas I got an iPhone, so I moved to the dark side. My dad called it. So
the dark side. Yes, yes. Reference in a movie there. First reference. We'll see how that goes. But so you do filming, and has filming something like I know, like I'm like so conflicted with what I want to do. Like each day and every day, I find something that like I think's a lot better. Is filming something you've always wanted to be doing?
yeah, absolutely. I think for as long as I remember, I've always like loved the idea, and I've always like the concept of documenting something and telling a story through film. I've always been really really fascinated by that, by the idea of doing that, and just the power as well of controlling the camera, and you decide where you point the camera, who you point the camera at, what you point the camera at, and like the other day, me and my family were scrolling through old videos of my dad's old camcorder, and like it's just me back in holidays in like 2013 with me just running around with the camera, just video and stuff. Like I was doing vlogging before it was even like a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've always been that guy with a camera. And yeah, I think that interest has always been there for me. It's just in the past 3 years I've begun to, I wouldn't say take it seriously, but started to devote more time to it and going, okay, this is something I'm really, really interested
Is
in.
there someone you can owe your influence and your many thanks to a certain person for getting you into film, or is it something you just wanted to do yourself on your own accord and something you found a decent enough passion for, or you thought it was cool?
Yeah, I think, as I said, the interest has always been there for as long as I can remember. I've always liked the idea of filming. But I suppose what really enhanced it and what really got me inspired was Casey Neistat. He
Casey
did that.
Neistat's like the OG, like the absolute OG. I was watching his video of like, where he goes around New York and he starts calling people. No, actually, there was some on a cyclone path. It was like a cone and he crashed into loads of cones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what got him trending, I think, or whatever. But that was like one of the first like viral videos of his, maybe, let alone YouTube's like. But yeah, Casey Neistat. I feel like he's not neglected now, but like I feel like no. I used to watch him a bit. I won't say like I was a fan by any means, because I don't know. I just never got his drift. But I don't know. I never really hear the name Casey Neistat anymore. It's more like David Dobrik and Fortnite and stupid shit
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean, I think he's not doing YouTube as much as he was, because he used to do vlogging like every single day, like he did daily
But that's
vlogging.
so hard though.
But he did it for like 600 days or something, which is like ridiculous, like a stupid amount of time. He like set a whole new level when it came to vlogging on YouTube. And yeah, I
Yeah,
just
he set the
remember.
standard, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely set the
Like, I
standard,
feel
and I
like
think
if he didn't, I think somebody else would have, and they would have got more credit. So I guess it's credit's due where credit is due.
eventually, but like, yeah, he changed the game in terms of YouTube, and he influenced, like, if you look at some people's videos, like copycats trying to copycat.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, he was
Oh
on
yeah,
another.
sorry.
But yeah, no, like I remember just seeing this guy skateboard around New York City holding the camera, and from that moment on, I was hooked. And then yeah, he probably really
What's
he
that skateboard he uses? What's that brand called?
boosted board.
Who's?
I
Do you see
wanted
they went out of business?
they did because of COVID, like a lot of industries. COVID.
Really? Surely you would have thought that that they, I don't know, would have had reserves, or they would have, more
No,
people aren't. I don't
oh,
know.
just COVID, just like, oh, I remember, because when
And
I
COVID has
started,
done so much bad.
I've wanted one of those boosted boards for like absolutely ages, but they're like ridiculously expensive.
How much
And
are they? Do you know, by any chance?
€1,200.
You're better off buying
Yeah.
one of them little scooters.
It's true. I have that. I have the electric scooter. I won a giveaway for an electric scooter. I got one of them ones, which is
Did
cool.
you? Okay, now the real question is, did you win a giveaway, or was there a bit of nepotism going on there? A bit of a family friendly
No,
passy?
no. Literally, I was on Instagram, and it was some e-scooter, electric scooter company based, and all you had to do was just repost their post and tag them in your story, and then you're automatically went in. I literally don't know who runs it. Don't know, like, they don't know me. I don't know them. I just got really lucky, I guess, and then they chose me, and yeah, I was chuffed.
Yeah, I'd say you were. They're cool little things to be honest with you.
Oh, they're so fun. Like, you can go mad. Like,
They're like
my
really
one
fast though. What's the
27
story?
miles,
Oh
27 miles.
Jesus, what's the story with them? Do you have to like drive them on the road or what?
Oh yeah, the legalization. I'm basically incriminating myself, saying that I
Yeah,
have them.
don't say you've done anything. The whole
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
about law is do not admit guilt.
Oh yeah, no. I suppose I allegedly have one of those scooters, but yeah, they're actually illegal in Ireland.
Wait, they're
And
illegal, are they?
yeah, no, they're fully illegal.
See, and
You
then
could.
people are always like, "Oh, they're not illegal." And it's
No,
just
no,
like,
they are. You can drive them on private property, but if you're driving them anywhere other than private property, like
they
on
can take
public
them off you.
guards have every right to take those off
Serious.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then if the guards like, oh, we won't talk about this too much, but then if guards take them off you, then it's like, oh, they're doing us an injustice. But getting back to what you were saying about you've always been doing traveling, and recording, for as long as you can remember. Is documentaries and journalism, that's something that tempts you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, it wasn't even like to go back to, like, yeah, so like, it wasn't even like travel, like, obviously, like, it was where when I was traveling, I'd video on them, but it was literally anything and everything. If it was just me and my brother messing around doing something stupid, I'd be videoing it. But yeah, journalism, uh, it could be some, you have to be a particular type of person to do journalism. And if you want to do journalism in the traditional way of being on the news or something like that, you have to probably get a ridiculous amount of points on the leaving cert and everything like that to be trained in
I
media and
think you have to be
everything.
more creative than anything.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Okay,
journalism.
sorry. Okay, sorry. No, you don't have to be creative, but nobody's going to want to read you, and nobody's going to want to. You have to be engaging more than creative. I think hard work beats talent, and you can be naturally gifted, but I think you can
Yeah,
learn, because there's a
yeah,
lot of
no,
people.
I remember who it was. So someone put out a quote saying, "Talent can get you far, but hard work can get you anywhere."
It's the
Like,
same.
hard
It's the
work
same, but
is.
like, okay, I was talking with a teacher of mine, and she's a language teacher, and she was saying that, the people that actually can speak German and French naturally actually don't normally get the A because they think they're so good when they actually get to an exam and they're written and they think they're so amazing. It's the grammar that trips them up or whatever. Whereas the people that put the hard work in are normally the people that do good.
Yeah.
So you've been doing filming and you recently were actually you won like a film award like wait, was it one or a couple now you've used that movie Fomo's one? Because I saw something else you posted.
Uh, Fomo's gotten it's won one award. Yeah, it was in a Canadian film festival called Freeze Frame Film Festival in Canada. So it was my first international one, which was class, and it won the best technical achievement, which was amazing. It was a film. Fomo was a film that I made with another Irish creator, Max Hendrickson.
Shout out to Max.
Shout out
So,
Max. He's extremely talented animator. And I won the award there, and I've entered it into a few other festivals that are based in Ireland. But so far, yeah, we've picked up one award, which is amazing.
so you mentioned your man Max is an animator. So how does like that film process begin? Like how do you start doing the film?
Well, I met Max at a film camp, the Young Irish Filmmakers Camp, YIFM. I met him at that, and at the camp, everybody
We
exchanges
just
like
appreciate though that acronym YIFM. It's the same
what do you
like
mean?
it's I don't know, it just sounds so odd. It sounds so bad like when you acronate it. I don't know. Okay, sorry, go
I
on.
kind of like it. Kind of after a while,
Nah. I
but
because like there's like the young economist and that's Yoti, young
yeah,
economist of the year. Like
some of them aren't amazing, but yeah, sorry. So I started talking to Max, and
is he from
I
Dublin or is he outside of Dublin?
he's from Dublin. Yeah, I started talking to him, and I was like, "Yo, do you want to make a film together?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And it just kind of shows how one DM can spiral into making a pretty cool piece of content. We went out and we got Kane, the actor, to just it was actually the day before the restrictions were put in place around October time. So like I literally texted him the night before saying, "Can you do a film like real quick?" And like gave him very short notice, but he was able to do it.
So he
And
acted in it.
yeah, Kane acted in it. It's only one person and no dialogue. The main thing is animation. And yeah, we like from we like the very first DM I sent him saying, "Do you want to make a film together?" was in September, and then the very final export that I did in the final version of the film was January time. So around that kind of span.
So what's that? September, October, November, December, January, 5 months. So there is a substantial period of time going into, and I guess you probably don't have your full desirable commitment available to making films because you are in
Exactly.
school. So I
I,
guess
I
that's
was
quite hard.
it's not like I was about to say it's not like continuous like 5 months every day 5 months. It's like one week we might get it done, but then we have to leave it for like 2 weeks because we're busy with school or anything like that. So it's not like
Yeah,
continuous five because as you say, life gets in the way, school, work, everything like that.
it
But yeah,
does. And one of the things I said that I was like thinking, you were saying, I'm after forgetting what I was going to say. I'm after forgetting what I'm going to say. That's the worst thing that I wanted. You were saying that school gets in the way. Actually, that's what it is. School's getting into the way. And I was only having this conversation with somebody just there the other day. How do I juggle work? Like I don't work a substantial amount, but I feel like by allowing myself to have that, like I took a weekend off because I was doing a project that I left last minute, last minute vibes. But
Fair.
yeah, you know yourself. I think actually we'll talk about this in a sec as well. Pressure, but I think I was talking with this person because I met them and we were like I was saying like because I'm doing quite a bit and it's like how do I actually manage the time, and there's this person and I can't remember, they didn't quote who the person was. They're saying like if you can do the thing you'll make time to continuously do it, and I think procrastination, people, it's a love-hate relationship in a lot of people's books. Like I think for myself, I think procrastination is quite powerful. I think without procrastination, I wouldn't have made this podcast. Whereas some people don't like
Really?
procrastination. Yeah, because I was literally bored as fuck. I was just sitting there. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't playing PlayStation. Wasn't watching YouTube or whatever. Teens our age are meant to be doing. But I was just like, I saw yous, and I was like, Then that thought started circulating in my head, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna buy a mic, and I'm just gonna get on the road. But like you're saying, there's not a lot of time, and I okay. I think there's always a way to find time. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you'll disagree, but I think there's always a way to make time. And I think sometimes not laziness, but I think people just put it off. Like even myself, I just the more you think about something, I think the more uh, flaws or mistakes you make. You just need to think. Just okay, have my idea and just go for it. Whereas if you're
Yeah,
doubting yourself or you're trying to think of something better, chances are you're not like you're most organic and your most what's the word? I can't remember. I used this when I was talking to someone as well. But your most original ideas are normally your best. It's your gut
yeah,
instinct.
no, I know. I think because I can be quite a big overthinker, and that's with anything like with creating any piece of content, whether it's a short film, podcast, YouTube videos, whatever it is. I've learned that I am quite a big overthinker. I overthink every aspect of life, to be honest, and that includes video making and everything like that. And I learned it's better just to come up with the idea, don't overthink about it, and just go for it because yeah, and I've just learned that's a skill that I definitely an ability that I definitely need to improve on because I think thinking about it somewhat is definitely good, but don't
I
wrap
think if you're, I think if you're not nervous, the saying kind of holds true. If you're not nervous enough, you don't really care enough. That type of thing. Like when you're going for a match, do you play sport?
play football.
Yeah, so when you're going on a big match or your rival, even it's a bit of Sunday league, not even like DDSL or anything. If maybe I don't know, but and even if you get them butterflies though, it shows that you care, you have a bit of passion for what you're doing.
Absolutely. True, very
Do you
true.
think so? I think pressure is good and bad. I think, pressure is what makes rocks, and we see the amazing results. That's all, Jesus Christ, that's cringy as fuck. But you know yourself, like, if you did you do geography?
For junior cert, yeah.
Yeah, so like rocks, like marble's a nice looking rock, and that's metamorphic. Like, my geography teacher might correct me, I don't do geography, but um, I think pressure is what either makes or breaks people. And I think
Mm,
there's two types of people. There's people that say they're good under pressure, and there's people that actually perform under pressure. Are
yep, yep.
you a person that lets pressure get you, or do you perform quite well under pressure?
I think I perform quite well under pressure because, like, I could, like, say, for example, my teacher could say, "Okay, you have 2 weeks to get this project done," and I'd leave it up until the very last minute because I need that
The
out, like,
motivator,
first,
the
yeah, that,
deadline, the
and
closing walls.
exactly closing walls. That's a good analogy. Just like them kind of closing in you, because if those
Another
walls,
movie reference, number
yeah,
two from Maze Runner.
those if those walls were like really really far away from me and they weren't coming close to me anytime soon, I'd just be chilling there not doing anything. I wouldn't be arsed. But when they start closing, that's when I go. And I kind of need that to a certain extent. Absolutely.
I think everyone kind of needs a bit of push. And okay, don't get me wrong, there are people that are amazing and will go out and they'll just set themselves and they have such great regimen. But I think there's always a motivating factor because, like Mark said, he pretty much said that people didn't work for work; they worked to have commodities, goods. I think people don't work, and it's the same principle for school and success. I don't think people really, to an extent, I think people don't do things for their own success, but to impress others. I think impressing
Oh yeah,
others is a
that's
growing.
that's
Yeah,
definitely a factor. I mean, it's not the only factor, but it's definitely a
I think it's a
factor.
major factor though. I think people want to be better than others in any way, and that can sound really narcissistic in one way, but
Oh,
I
it's true.
think people want to be better. People want to be the best, and I think anyone that, okay, I won't say anyone, but I think a lot of people that are saying, might be thinking like what I'm saying is wrong, but I think people want to be good, and I think if they say they don't, they're lying to you, or they're very content with their lives. And do you strive? Okay, so you're a film director by profession, yeah, by name. Do you hope
Yeah.
one day to be the best?
Sorry, you
Steve,
lagged there.
oh sorry, do you hope to be the best, like a Stephen King?
No, I just like a lot of people like also it's not about like a lot of people want to be the best, but not even in the aspect of like being the best, but also having money and everything like that. For
Yes, is it
me,
being the best for yourself or is it being the best for others?
exactly. And like what I mean is like for me, a big goal in my life right now would be when I'm older, I don't want to be working a shitty 9 to 5 job. I want to be doing what I love. And to be honest, like earning money and all that, like if that's definitely a byproduct, but the ultimate goal is that when I get up every morning and I have to go to work, it doesn't feel like I'm going, like, when people say, "Oh, I have to do my fucking job today." I don't want, I never want it to feel like that. I want to
So
wake
many
up every,
people say though that they don't want to fall into the 9 to 5 trap. And guess
yeah,
what trap they fall into?
yeah, 9 to 5. No, no, it's
Nine to
true.
fives actually, what country is just there? I think it was maybe it's Spain. I think it's Spain. They're changing to a 4 day work week. You know, yeah, like obviously it's like 200 companies that are participating in it or something like that. It's not everybody, but
Yeah, yeah.
so you don't want to be the best. So you don't want to leave a legacy behind or anything. That doesn't push
No,
you to.
no, no, no. Absolutely. I definitely want to
Do you
make
want to
it.
be remembered?
I love to be remembered in some respects. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Do you want to be remembered? Okay. Now there's a lot. Okay. Would you rather be remembered by your family really well, or just be remembered by everybody, but like being remembered by loads of people?
Uh,
Because in a sense, if you're, if you, okay, in about a couple 100 years time, when we're all in our tombstones, people are gonna forget about us, though. You know what I mean? They go,
yeah,
sorry,
true.
but unless you've done something great or something really bad, you're not in the history books, and people forget about you. So I think you have to be a founding father or something, or a founding mother, or whatever we have
Yeah.
to call it nowadays. But to be remembered, I think you have to, and I guess that's only fair because you can't really remember everybody. But so you do want to be remembered
Some way, yeah.
some way. Okay, so you'd be content if you're remembered, but you don't want to be the best. Uh,
No, I,
so
I mean, I don't know. It's a like as long as I'm making films and I'm liking the films that I'm making and I like what I'm
then you're
doing,
content.
then I'm happy. I'm happy, and obviously other factors like as long as I'm healthy, I'm happy. The people around me are happy. My family are happy, and I love what I do, which is hopefully going to be filmmaking.
Yeah,
Then I'm chuffed. I'm good.
I saw this. It was this really good quote, and I said to myself, I'm gonna kind of follow through on it. It was like healthy mind, healthy body, then healthy work, and I think sometimes to please others, you kind of put the other two, the first two at bay and just neglect them to help other people. And I don't think that's bad, but I think you kind of need to prioritize yourself in a sense, because if you don't,
I think honestly, it's just balance at the end of the day. The more I'm growing up and the more I'm going through life, the more I realize in every aspect of life, it's just balance. It's just figuring out what you need to prioritize at that current stage in your life, and just prioritizing what you have to do, balancing everything out. And I think honestly, balance is the key to just a happy life. That's a very vague and broad statement, but I think
but
it's
I think
true.
it's such a little simple statement, but I think people seem to forget. I think it's the simple things that make the big difference. I saw this quote. It's like the big thing. Like it sounds wrong or maybe cliche, but the big things, if you think about it, they don't really make. It's as people say, it's the little things like just saying hi to someone on a bad day that they might be having, and that's meant to be really monumental to them. And I think, them small things do help people. So just getting back to FOMO, uh, what is FOMO completely about?
Well, yeah. So it's a short film that I made with Max. It's the definition of FOMO. Well, it's an abbreviation, not abbreviation. It stands for fear of missing out,
Yeah.
and essentially it's the anxiety that someone has when they feel that something exciting or interesting is happening someplace else. And often that feeling of anxiety is aroused by posts seen on social media. And especially with this generation, we just see
Social media is bad.
it can be bad. It absolutely can be bad. It's just you see all these people doing these amazing things on social media, but a lot of people don't realize that it's enhanced, it's fake, it's
Puts you
exaggerated. That's what's
down.
happening. Puts you down. It makes you feel crap, and it just like it makes you feel like all these exciting things are happening in other people's lives, and it makes you feel like you're just living a bad life in a way. And it's just basically what happens in the film is this teenager lad is walking along on his phone and he's glued to his phone, just completely staring at the screen, and notifications going off, and he's staring at social media, not even looking around the surroundings. And then he sits down at the bus stop while he's waiting for the bus. And while he's waiting for the bus, he's staring at his phone and he's annoyed because the bus isn't going to be here for another 15 minutes. So he has to wait. He has to wait a while. And then as he's looking down, it kind of goes into this transition. And this is the animation. This is the animated.
Yeah,
This is
I
the
saw that. That was like where he gets sucked in, doesn't he? Like into a space type thing. And can I just say the editing to both of
it's
you,
kind
that was
of
a
like
fucking crazy. Sorry, that film that you just made that was fucking crazy good, man. Like, that editing
cheers.
was proper good though. He's probably millions of people, or not millions, but people have definitely said it to us. But Like that is pretty good for like the amount of experience you have. I'd say it's not an extensive amount as people actually do this for their job, but it's fucking quite good, man. Like fair play to you. My hat's off to you. But
Appreciate that.
oh,
Appreciate that. Yeah, no. So essentially, just what happens is you kind of get sucked in, and maybe like it's kind of like maybe what's kind of going on in his head, and it's just this kind of cool animated section, and you can't really describe the animation. You just kind of have to go and watch it for yourself and see what
yeah.
happens. Whole mad thing happens with the animation. It's kind of like the viewer is in the guy's head, and then it transitions out. And while it transitions out, the bus is driving past him, and he's completely missed the bus, and he's going, "Oh, for God's sake!" And then eventually he looks down his phone, and he realizes that while he has this fear of missing out of what's going on online, in reality, what he's really missing out on is he's missing out on the real world, and he's just missing on his bus. And it's just to put your phone down every once in a while, take in the surroundings that's there with you presently, and just take in everything for what it is in the present.
That's a very powerful statement that you just made there. Now, people not living in the present, and I'm gonna quote movie number 3 for someone like myself. And actually, people always quote movies all the time. You know, what's it like, Anchorman or whatever, and I'll just be like, yeah, I know that quote, and you know, like awkward laughing. Like I'm not a movie guy myself, but getting back to the quote, I'm gonna third quote of a movie. Um, Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, yeah,
You know, I don't know the exact quote, but it's like, tomorrow's a mystery. Yesterday was
yeah,
in the past.
yeah,
Today is the present, or something like that. And
yeah.
I think
Exactly.
people don't live in the present. And I think myself, I think I'm always thinking ahead, which is a
We're all
bad thing.
guilty. We're all
I
guilty of
think
it.
we are, but I think some that it sounds so simple, but and it probably is really simple. And I think everyone needs to collectively work, you know, individually on their own to improve it. Because I'm always thinking about like for the next podcast, I'd say you probably like that yourselves. Like I'm thinking, okay, I might only do a podcast one day a week, you know, recording wise and editing. Well, I'd actually do very minimal editing, but 7 days a week I'm thinking about it. Every single moment I'm walking
And
around the street, I'm looking down, I'm looking at a shop. I'm like, or I see, I don't know, something, and I'm like, that sparks a potential
seriously,
client.
yeah, no, seriously. And it's good to be doing that some of the time, but sometimes, like I this is something I really do struggle with on a daily basis. Is just being able to calm my mind down, just being able to just relax,
You
take
do
everything.
meditation.
I tried
I
once.
think, I
I
think
just,
it's a load of
no,
bollocks. For me, it's not for me.
well, I, I can't, well, no, you know what? I probably didn't give it the time. I definitely didn't give it the time. I didn't give it a fair.
Yes.
But like even when I'm in bed at night and it's 2 in the morning, I'm just staring up at the ceiling. Normal people are asleep by then, but I'm just there thinking about a million thoughts. I'm thinking about the podcast. I'm thinking about new film ideas. I'm thinking about stuff that happened to me throughout the day. I'm thinking about stuff that happened in school. Always a million thoughts running through my head, and it can be quite tiresome sometimes. And I can't seem to just
Thinking is
calm.
tiring though.
No, it really is. It gets annoying after a while where you can't just take a breath and just take a
Kind of like
step
the
back.
FOMO in a sense that like you're thinking of like what you're missing out on
Yeah,
and all that type
exactly.
of stuff. But I think, yeah, meditation, like I tried to, like, okay, I have these spurts of motivation. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna wake up at 6. I'm gonna do this.
I saw this. I saw this TikTok where it's like some guy just chilling in his bed at 3 a.m. and then that's when you suddenly just decide to get your life together. You start doing
Yeah,
3 a.m. or something. Just to,
yeah.
yeah, I'm the
But
same.
uh, so, do you think it's hard being creative and making unique films, or do you think it's just more like not like completely creative where you create a revolutionary tactic, but like, you know, making new films? Do you think that's the hardest part, or actually doing the films is the hard part?
Sorry, you lagged there. What
Oh,
you say?
sorry. Do you think it's the hard part is making the films, you know, or like planning them, like being creative?
You're lagging so much. Hold on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna listen to this audio now, Kevin.
You're lagging so much. Like you're still frozen on the screen. Hold on.
Okay, one sec. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
Just went there.
You hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, so cool, so cool. I just told my wife once I was about to shit it, man. I was like, no, we're halfway through. So, sorry, getting back. Do you think the hardest part is being creative and planning, or actually just, you know, doing the actual film itself? Now, Kevin, actually, before I do that, I'm going to stop you. And you always blame my Wi-Fi. And when we look back at the podcast last time, it was yours. So
No, no,
and in the
it's
live.
my Wi-Fi. I agree. Like
Oh, yeah,
actually,
okay, okay,
uh,
cool, Villa. So yeah, sorry, go on.
that's a tough question. What,
Are you creative though, personally?
it's quite a. That's quite yeah.
Okay, you go to English. We'll start off with the yes or no
Yeah,
questions.
I'm all right at English. I'm not like amazing. I'm all right at English, but I'm definitely
What's your creative writing skills like?
they're decent. They're not like exceptional or anything like that, but they're definitely not. They're not average, but they're not amazing. They're all right. They're
Yeah, I
decent.
get you. So okay. So from what I hear, I'd say creativity doesn't come too easily, but not too difficultly. Just so is that even a
Yeah.
word? Difficultly. I don't know.
Difficult. Yeah, it is. That's a
I
word,
don't
isn't it?
know. Or would you say more? I don't know. More difficult. I don't.
That's now. Just trying to guess.
Yeah, we'll be here all day. But so, like, did you do animating or was it just
No,
Max?
just well. So like, oops. So for the animation, Max like physically made it. Like he's on the software making the animation, but
Yes.
I gave my input and I said, all right, like when he made a
Yes.
particular. But when he made an animated design, I'd say, okay, that works, but this doesn't work, or that works. And then I'd give my
So you're the
suggestions. And then,
director. Quite literally, like you imply, you are the director, and he's the
yeah.
animator. So,
but he definitely had some input in the design process of it as well. But I definitely was a big person saying, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that.
yes, I get you. I get you. So, do you think you're born with the characteristics and qualities necessary for a film director? Just it's one of them. Like being good at art. Okay, don't get me wrong. Like I'm rubbish at art, and my little sister's really good at art.
Yeah.
And she's quite creative in that sense. But like myself, I wouldn't be as talented in the arts personally. Like you're meant to, like I'm left-handed. I don't know about yourself. Are you left or right-handed?
Right-handed.
So left-handed people tend to be more creative. I think that's a lot of bullshit, but whatever.
Yeah.
So but because I think it unlocks like some part of your brain, but I think do you think you're born with these necessary characteristics or qualities, or can you learn them?
It goes back to the thing of nature versus nurture, which one is more important. And I actually asked my dad this the other day, and he says it goes back to the old thing of like talent can get you far, but hard work can get you anywhere. I am a true believer in that. Like, so let's say, for example, like it's a pretty generic one, but let's say like say for footballers, let's say Messi and Ronaldo, I'd consider Messi to be the more talented.
You saw TikTok. You saw TikTok on that.
Yeah, no,
I
I
saw
got
that
no
yesterday. Yeah.
somewhere. So I'd consider him to be the more talented one and more
Yes.
natural one. But Ronaldo's the hard worker, and he's been working on football for absolutely ages. So it can work for different people. Some people are just naturally talented, but then people put in years and years of dedication to master,
Yes.
well, try and master at least of what they're doing.
Yes.
I think it can work differently for other people, but I think anybody can. I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to learn the keyboard, and I wouldn't. I don't have a musical bone in my body. I'm not a musical person, but I still want to
Yes.
learn the keyboard. And although I might not be talentedly gifted when it comes to music, I can. If I put in the hard work on the keyboard, for 3 years, I will
See
like succeed.
progress.
Exactly, I'll
Substantial
see progress.
progress.
So yeah, I think some people can have talent, but anybody can be a hard worker.
Cool, Abdullah. So I think that's true. And like the nature v nurture thing, I think that's a really important thing as well. So you have a love of cinema in the sense of cinematography. And I remember last time we talked, you corrected me over my usage of cinematography. It's not
Yeah.
the actual cinema atmosphere. Do you like love going to the cinema? Like, or you just like everyone
Yeah.
else, you just like going to cinema? Or is it like you're like,
Oh,
I fucking love cinema?
I absolutely love going to the cinema.
The
Yeah.
food there is so much better than at home when you make yourself.
The popcorn in cinemas is banging. It's compared to other popcorn.
And
It's so
the
nice.
Coke and the Coke.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know what they do. Maybe because it's like nice and warm or something. I don't know.
Nice
Not
and
the
warm. Yeah, you like warm Coke.
no, not warm Coke. Warm popcorn.
Oh yeah. What does your what where do you cook your popcorn? In the fridge? In the fridge?
I mean, yeah. Look, I'm not like a cinema maniac. Like, it's not like when I go to the cinema and like there, but I definitely would love it more than like people who
Watching
just
at
like.
home.
Sorry.
You prefer watching it, so you'd prefer going to the cinema than watching it at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so you're a director, and a grown one. So supposedly I saw this article, John Wick and 4 and 5, and you can quote me if I'm wrong. Supposedly there's a change of director for them movies. Do you think that's a bad choice if it was to be a reality? Do you think you should always keep the same director, or do you think it's a breath of fresh air? Because I know I don't watch it myself, but I have a friend that watches anime, and he was telling me that like there's this change of director, and it's actually gone for the better. But sometimes it can be worse because it changes the actual dynamic, and he has different ideas to the original director, and it kind of
yeah.
changes the movie. I don't know what movie did that, but there's a movie I know that did that.
Uh, I think it just depends on each situation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think there's definitely with every director there's different styles and they direct in different ways, obviously.
Yes.
And that's clear to see. And sometimes when you bring in a new director, they can bring in a new style, a new really cool style, and they can portray movies in a different light, and everybody loves it. But then sometimes they can bring it in, and it just doesn't work. I think I think it just entirely depends on what the situation is like and what type of person it brings in. I don't think there's one right way to do it. You should always keep the same director, or you should always switch. I don't think there's one right
Yeah, I
way to
don't think
do
there's
it.
one right
Just simple.
way of ever. Yeah, yeah, because I think that's quite simple-minded, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think we can kind of nearly conclude with the cinematography. I said that right there that time. Yeah, I used the right usage. Yeah, with the
yeah.
cinematography aspect. So you also do podcast, and just before we end that, I think COVID has really ruined the cinema industry or the film industry in a sense, like it's really hard to film and actors get really upset when people are breaking the guidelines. And I think anyone would who, you know, but I think Netflix is growing and I think cinemas are declining. I wouldn't be surprised if local cinemas start closing down.
No, no, and I think even before COVID, cinemas weren't doing as well as they were compared to
Like,
other points in history.
yeah, I watch, yeah, because people used to go to the cinema all the time. They'd be packed, and I always loved. Like I think as a kid, it's a lot more of a thrill. Like I think it's just a stress now. I'm sure like cinemas are dear enough, aren't they? Like you're
No,
going there.
dude, Jesus Christ, the food. Even
That's
though it's nice, ridiculously
yeah.
expensive.
Actually, the best day to go is a Monday after 6 p.m. or something like that. You get like a large combo and a ticket for tenner. But I like, yeah, like because you always see the ads in the cinemas and swords where they're doing that. But like I actually don't like. I would go more on the weekends, but like I'd maybe go cinema once or twice a year. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a big
Really?
cinema addict. Yeah, like I don't like watching movies in general. I think
Gee,
movies are too quick. Like, and sometimes movies are good. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer series and
I'd
series
go.
like long
I
movies,
I'd
like with
go
a
about
couple
once
of
a month.
episodes. Really?
Yeah, about once. Well, before COVID, obviously, I go about.
Yeah. Like, see, I prefer because I don't think unless it's a collection of movies like Harry Potter or whatever, even though I don't really necessarily like them, I think series are more powerful at implementing. It's like a book; you grow with the character. I think movies, like franchise, like you love Marvel, and we had this conversation, and I literally just don't get superheroes. I just don't.
Yeah.
People are
I
gonna
feel
hate.
bad. I feel bad for people who don't because
Yeah,
you'll
I
never.
feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I love the Marvel movies; they're class. But yeah, I'm just gonna say they're amazing. I'm not gonna say anything more than that. But
Do you think?
no, I love
Oh,
going
sorry,
to.
go on, yeah. So you love cinema. Do you think you're more inclined to go to realistic movies or Disney movies type thing down the line?
Depends. I mean,
Depends.
like I saw
Directors have
I
to
saw,
be, I guess, open, don't
I
they?
saw yeah, no, no, absolutely. And I saw a Disney movie, animated movie that was really good. It was called Soul. It's an
Ratatouille.
animated movie.
Ratatouille. Sorry.
Ratatouille. Soul was absolutely amazing. I thought that film, like that was absolutely class. And
Actually, you
yeah,
mentioned
I wouldn't, a lot of people would be, when it comes to types of films and categories of films, they'd be closed-minded and they'd only go for one certain type of one. But I kind of watch.
ooh, close-minded hits.
I'll go to any and every movie. Really, I like all genres, to be honest.
So you mentioned Soul, and we had this chat before. The afterlife.
Yeah.
Have your opinions changed? Are you still the same? What do you think will happen when you're 6 feet under? or do you want to be buried or cremated? And that's a very long time away. But do you have any?
Hopefully a long time away. Jesus.
Yes, touch wood.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think I like the idea of being cremated. I don't really, I don't know, to be honest. It'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Just your ashes to be scattered somewhere. But I think,
Like Avatar, was it? Or no, not Avatar. God of War. Did you ever play God of War? That's like the whole objective of the game. You literally just like you're Kratos and whatever, and you're fighting everything, and then you like literally just go to the top of the mountain to scatter ashes, only to find out it's the wrong mountain, and then you go to the end. Actually, I'm just after spoiling again, but I don't care. Then you go to the end of the game, and then you find out that the sun is the son of a god, and it's a really good way they directed the game. Would you be willing to direct games? Oh,
oh Jesus. Game design has been like, I've never looked into that. I've never really been interested in it, but as I say, love trying everything, anything and everything. So maybe
yeah.
sometime.
Are you a gamer? Like, do you like gaming?
I mean, I have a PlayStation. I've had it for ages.
Yeah,
When I was younger, I was mad into it. I remember
yeah.
just fucking what was on Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I was on that every single day.
Well,
Uh,
I wasn't a big fan of Trey now. I like more the old
right.
war games like World War Two.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, yeah, like I remember like Black Ops 3. I used to do a good bit of FIFA, but recently I haven't done it in
FIFA's rigged. Did you see that? FIFA's you can pay to buy packs with players in it
yeah.
now. Like, you
Oh
can, like
yeah.
people are spending like $3,000 to get two players, and then it's just
Been around for ages. Yeah.
no, I know, but it was leaked and just there like properly leaked, and people are like really upset now.
I don't. People have been buying packs for ages.
No, but I mean, like now you don't buy packs. You can buy players, specific
Oh,
players.
yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, like you can actually buy Prime 99 Messi, which is impossible to get on percentage, like nearly impossible. And you can just buy
Yeah.
them for like €1,500 off EA.
Jeez,
It's not like you need to know someone in EA, but they can authorize it for you.
jeez, that's mad.
Yeah,
That is
so it's
mad.
rigged as fuck. But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I don't like FIFA. I swear with every FIFA they do, it's just copy and paste and just put a different, just put
that's
the same.
man, I swear everyone has had this problem for so long. FIFA, listen up, fix your game, add something new. I know it's football, but Call of Duty does something new each year. Like there could be, so much potential with FIFA, like so much potential.
Yeah, no, seriously, like everything, like
They should do VR FIFA, or there's probably been done that somewhere, but I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I got FIFA 21, but before FIFA 21, the most recent FIFA I had was FIFA 15. So like I hadn't had it
Yeah.
in ages.
I
So
don't. I think people just play it now just for something to play, like all together with all the lads, because it's something that like all the lads generally like to play.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at it though. It's so annoying as well because when I'm on my mates, they literally just abuse me because I'm so bad at it. So I just kind of gave up.
Yeah. Like we were playing pro clubs, and I'm just like sitting there, and I'm just like really like low rating compared to everyone else because like they reset the team, so I could like get good. But getting back to the afterlife, so do you believe it will just be blank?
Oh, so someone was talking to me about this the other day, but like they said that they suspect what will happen is when you die, you still have a conscious, but you don't have a body or anything. You just like you're like you still have a conscious, but it's just like a dark void of nothing.
But
It's like just
won't that be scary and sad and like
that would be
ultra
terrifying.
depressing though that you're just sitting there lying down there and you can't control anything?
Exactly. Oh my god, it would be like miserable.
Peppermint tea. I'm literally telling you, and anyone listening to this who's gotten this far, peppermint tea. Before you go to bed, pop a peppermint tea. That thing is like psychedelics when you're in a sleep. No, pop it. Pop it, man. It's really good.
I've never tried it, but yeah, I just I'm not a religious person at all, so I don't really look
Are you
into
not
it that.
religious, or do you not believe in it?
I'm just not very religious, to be honest.
Yeah, I think now it's a grown age, and I think a lot of religions are kind of losing faith from the new people, because I think it's like whatever. Like, okay, Catholic Church had a load of influence during the 60s, 70s, started losing it. Same now, influencers have all the control. I think,
Yeah,
like we've seen it with elections and stuff. But yeah, I think I don't know what happens. I hope there is something, because it'd be kind of sad, and it'd be weird if, like, okay, this is going to sound so self-centered, but like as Elon Musk said, it could be a simulation for each person, and this is going to be my simulation. and you could just be
Yeah.
and you could be a character in my simulation or whatever, you know. Like, do you know what's mad?
Yeah.
You can't tell what people are doing there in their houses unless you are physically there in the spot and see what's happening. That's crazy. That's so many people potentially around the world. Like, I don't know. It just sounds crazy.
It's mad. It's mad. I think. Yeah. I just hope like, we're someplace nice, or maybe that really is it. Maybe when you die, that's just it. You're gone. You're
Who
six
created
feet
us
under.
then, though? Who created us then? Something
The
had to
Big
have
Bang.
created us. So no, there has to have been some. Big Bang's a lot of bollocks. The Big Bang had to have come from something. I don't
I,
know.
I'm no scientist. I
Yeah,
mean,
physicists will beg to differ, but I think that whether we like it or not, there's no way a bang just occurred out of nowhere. There had to have been some extraterrestrial or some being or some spirit before that whatever created that Big Bang in the first place. Something had
that
to have started it. There has to have been something. I won't take the scientific reasoning when I'm dead, and if I can ever come back, as people always say, I'll come back because there's people that like are in comas or and supposedly see stuff. I don't know how reliable that is because chances are, and most of the time you see that they're like quite religious in the first place, but it's a really
do you
crazy thing.
do you believe in do you believe in aliens?
Not green aliens. I think we were talking about this. I remember. Uh, it's hard to say. Like in our people are saying that supposedly we lived on Mars, or it was the actually was uninhabitable at the time or something. Science disproves that. Then there's like planets, like exoplanets. I think that's what they call them, that can fit Earth's description. But like, man, can we not just send? I know it's a telescope, so it's probably like about 17 light years away, which is what 17 years in time or something. So surely we can send somewhere with 17 years in time and fucking crash it into there and see what the story is. Might see fucking dinosaurs for all we know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think like I think I said this last time, but like you know the classic image of like an alien or a ghost or whatever. Like, where did we get that image from? Like, where did that come?
Crazy fucking Americans in Area 51.
Yeah, I to be honest, I don't really know. I think there has to be something out there. Have they visited Earth? Who knows? But I mean, like, have
Okay,
you
if
seen all
okay, the
you know?
pyramids. Okay, if
You literally was
yeah,
about to say
yeah, the
pyramids.
pyramids, they were built with such mathematical precision that okay, the Great College of Alexandria or something like that, that was burnt down. And supposedly that set us back about 3,000 years in civilization. The Romans burnt it down. But at least you had like thousands of years of history. Yeah? Like they would take the original scroll and they would give you a transcribed roll back or vice versa. I can't remember. But they literally had so much stuff and that shit was burnt down. And supposedly there was so much knowledge in there. And, it matches the. Actually, I don't know if I think the pyramids were built before that actually because it was, after Alexandria. But like the pyramids were built with such, accuracy and people are saying it's like physically impossible for so many slaves because they'd need so many slaves to bring it up and like it would be impossible to drag it around corners and stuff. I don't
Yeah,
know how it was done, but surely if there was aliens, surely like they've left because they could have hidden something in the pyramids hypothetically, but like surely they'd come down and just give us a big fucking awakening. Like there's a lot of crazy stories. Like I think it was maybe it was my nana or something, or my great nana or something like that. Or that's what they call their big nana. But I think, don't get me wrong, don't quote me. I don't know, but I think supposedly they came out of church or some shit. Or it was during the wartime or something. Supposedly they saw a UFO or something.
I mean, look, there's tons of stories about that.
Do I believe it? No.
I'll believe it when I see it. But
Yeah, seeing is believing in it.
absolutely.
So, okay, Kevin, you're a film director turned podcaster as well.
Yeah.
How did actually like I think we talked about this briefly, but like how did that come? It was what's his name, the lad that I always call Kevin, Michael.
My,
Did he just come to you like he does think about it, or was it something you were speculating, and or like how the fuck did it actually happen?
no, literally one. Me and him were on a Zoom meeting with I can't remember what it was at the time. It was some organization or some council. Me and him were on a Zoom meeting, and then after the Zoom meeting, he called me on Instagram. And he was like, "What do you think of that?" And we just talked, and then he's like, "Here, I'm thinking of starting a podcast." And the thing about Michael is he just gets stuff done so fast. Like he just says it, and then it just happens. And he's like, "Do you want to do it?" And normally I'd be like, "I don't know." I'd think about it for a few days because as I said, I'm a big overthinker. But this time I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And literally the best decision I've ever made because it kept us busy over the January
Lockdown.
lockdown. And it was really easy to get guests as well and it still is because
Because
we're
people
still
want to be
going.
on, because people have nothing better to be
Exactly.
doing.
people are stuck in their houses, they're bored, nothing to be doing. So when we asked them, do you want to come on a podcast, they're like, yeah, sure. So it's brilliant. And yeah, we just kind of go from there. We're 12 episodes in now. We're releasing our 13th episode this week, which
I'm telling you, don't put it or 13, put a 12.1 and go to 14 next week. 13 is an unlucky number. It's superstitious.
No, not at all.
I'm not superstitious, but like I don't give a fuck about black cats. But the number 13, like there's no number 13 on airplanes because people that won't book tickets there.
Yeah. No, there isn't. I think the Irish in particular can be quite superstitious because like magpies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think magpies are a lot of bollocks. Like I have good luck when I get one magpie, and then bad luck when I have two, which is like the other way around. But
yeah, I definitely wouldn't be a superstitious person, but I know a lot of people who are. And yeah, I think what was I saying? Oh yeah, the podcast. Yeah, we're 13 episodes in, and yeah, it's the most consistent I've ever been with uploading content ever. And yeah,
do you think podcasts have improved your skill of speech? Talking to people in general.
100%, yeah, 100%. Just even talking to people.
Are you quiet in general? Are you an extrovert or an introvert?
That's I'm quite a big introvert, to be honest. But when I'm in, so like say in school,
you're like, man, the amount of people, you've had a couple of podcasts now. You've been on mine. You were like telling me you're on some second years one, you're on some other lads one, you're on your own. Like you're a podcast professional at this point.
I wouldn't define the definition of professional is getting paid for your work. We haven't.
Is it?
We haven't gotten a dime yet. So what I mean is like I suppose I keep on losing my train of thought. What was I saying?
You were talking about the podcasting and like just getting it all done and all that lovely stuff.
What was I saying? I've literally lost my control.
Improving your speech.
Oh yeah. Sorry, extrovert or introvert.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like when it comes to school, I'm a massive introvert. I just have a small group of mates and I talk to them. Yeah. But when it comes to like a small group of in a large group of people, I'm definitely an introvert, 100%. But then in a small
people,
group, hard to get to know them, then I become a big extrovert, should I say.
Do you think, like you said, you're 12 weeks in, and do you think it's harder, like, the grind? Is the grind harder to start it in the first place or just keep going? Or do you think you owe it to people now that you're so far in to just keep going?
Yeah, it's a good question actually. I think I think a lot of people, what can happen with a lot of people is I know a lot of people actually like they say, oh, I'm starting a YouTube channel, and they get real excited for it, and they're like, I'm going to be banging out videos every week. I'm going to be working on so much. I'm going to be doing this. I'm like, yeah, sure, you will, okay. And then they make
actually do the work, and you'll see it, and it's hard, and then you're like, I don't want to let myself down, and I don't let other people down.
No, that's thing. Like what I'm saying is a lot of people I see them, they say, oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing this, gonna be doing this, gonna be doing loads of work. And I'm sure like, okay, sure, let's see when you do that. And then they make one YouTube video and they put loads of effort into it, and then suddenly blank. They're in because they get so excited about starting it off, but then they realize it does take a lot of work. And and that's
nothing's easy in life though.
No, absolutely.
Especially nothing good in life. Like one of the podcasts, and hopefully you'll listen to it. This one, like if I was to tell anyone to listen to the podcast, not to say the other ones are bad, but like just pure interest. Like it's with this guy from Venezuela, but you want to hear the stories of it. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I saw on your story about you had him on, so I'll be excited to hear that. But I mean, yeah, like I suppose like doing our podcast as well. We have 3 people, so the work is split up into 3.
Yeah, how do you delegate that work?
We just rotate it really. So
okay, I have a question. Not to hate on the lads. So you say rotating. Do you like sometimes when somebody's doing one job and you're like, no, you're better at them than that job? Do you kind of like subconsciously think, or vice versa? They're like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that, whatever,
Yeah, no, it's a very like that's actually a really good question. That's a really, really good question. Because say for example, on our Instagram we release previews of the episode.
How do you do that? Because
we just edit it together and just clip it together and fade it in and out of each conversations, and we like just kind of make it exciting so people are like, okay, I'm actually going to go listen to this. Yeah. But on captions, when we say this Friday we have so and so on and we talk about this and we talk about that, I'm really bad at like trying to like
catching a hook.
Yeah, a hook. Exactly. Like coming up with like a cool, catchy sentence to get them interested in it and get them hooked onto it. But Michael is really, really good at that. He comes up with he uses all his emojis and stuff like that. He's like, this Friday, this is gonna happen, this and that. and he's really, really good at that, but I'm crap at it. So anytime I make a preview, I'm like, here, Michael, I'm shy at writing the captions. Will you do it? He's like, yeah, sure. So we definitely have our strengths and we definitely have our weaknesses,
I
and
think
it's just
everyone
about
does. But I think like I think even, you know, everything, like I think, you know, you can be good at certain things. Sorry, you can be good at certain things and you can be bad at other things. But I think you should actually do the things that you're bad at to learn how to do them better.
that's a very good point. That is a very
I'm on the council, yeah, and I, like, don't get me wrong, I think delegation is necessary, you know, but I think sometimes people just are lazy or don't want to do it. And I'm not saying you're lazy. I'm just saying, like, you know, sometimes delegation just doesn't work and people just don't want to. But I think delegation is important because for that factor, people will learn them skills that are
yeah.
necessary.
Yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely. And so maybe I should start writing the captions myself and actually learn a
Sure.
bit.
Like it's not like okay, not to undermine you because my podcast isn't, you know, all high and mighty either by any means. You're doing a much better job than I am at this point, you know. But
No,
like
you're one person, so I imagine the workload is much more like it's harder for you as well. You know.
I think mentally I drain myself a little bit more than I should, and but like I enjoy. I think hard work, you know, pressure and let. I think I don't. Okay, to an extent, I don't care what people think. To an extent, um, can you hear me? Yeah.
You're lagging. No,
Oh,
sorry, you're lagging so much here right now. Hold on, just wait until you
yeah,
come
cool,
back.
no problem. Cool about it.
All right, all right. I think you're back now. I think.
Like
Yeah, all right,
I
good.
think, like, to an extent, I don't care what people's opinions are of myself, and I think I would much prefer to. Okay, I'm not. No, I don't. I hate no, not I hate letting people down. Like I think the only person you can hold accountable, and we'll talk about this in a sec, is yourself. And I think, you know, letting yourself down is the worst thing you can do because then you let down others in, you know, theory. But what is your idea on reliability? Like, you know, because I know, okay, and I'm not going to throw hate or shade or whatever, but there's like a few people I've been, you know, amazing to help with me, you know, with this podcast. And there's some people I've asked them to do things for me, you know, just like a favor or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And I shouldn't have even asked. Like, it was, you could just tell they didn't give two flying beep
yeah, yeah. Exactly. No, you know, you're right. And you see, some people only help you out if it's
for money or
yeah,
whatever.
money, or if it's beneficial to them in any way, which is fair enough. But it's also like just
Yeah, I get the fairness. Like, you know, to be fair, you know, it is your podcast, like it'd be your podcast or my podcast or whatever, and we're technically meant to be doing our work, you know. But I think friends are there to help each other, and I think, you know, like sometimes people do like. Okay, I'm going to use the example, and I don't want to use the example, but I'm going to have to because it's an accurate example. This friend of mine, I asked him to do something for me. There's always issues, always.
yeah,
For
yeah.
other people that are paying them, no issue. You know, and that's fine. Just say you can't do it. I'd rather you say that you can't do it than you try to do it and make a just and waste my time. Whereas I could be using, like, instead of waiting and doing something different, I could have done that and got it done. And I'm not
Yeah,
a
no, no.
pro at anything by any means, but
And it works both ways. Like obviously you can't, like if you have someone who can do it, you can't abuse that. You can't just be asking them to do
yeah,
everything. But also
yes,
they they could help you out, and so it works both ways. And it's just about
the perfect
relationships with
balance.
like exactly again balance is like
Yeah,
we go back to balance. But yeah, no, I think friends should definitely be there to help you out, and like also like even when you do something pretty cool, if your friends aren't showing any interest in it or they aren't like
look, this
most
quote from Peaky Blinders, or maybe it's not from Peaky Blinders. It's like, look at the friends who aren't clapping when you're succeeding.
exactly, yeah, exactly.
But like, you know, when it comes to when it comes to reliability, you know, I think, and I was just thinking about it today because, you know, I was thinking about the podcast we were going to have today because I was thinking of things we can talk about. I think the only person you can hold accountable at the end of the day is yourself, and, you know, and if obviously other people's mistakes, but at the end of the day, it is your responsibility, you know. And I think if you let yourself down, that's the worst thing because you can't really hold it to people a lot unless they some substantial thing to you. But like getting to that thing where, you know, the friends that don't clap for you when you're succeeding, like there's people I know that I'm not amazing friends with. Like, I'd say we're civil, you know, that are coming up and they're saying, like, fair play to you, man. Like, that's a pretty decent enough podcast, you know. And the same with you. I'd expect that, like, people are gonna, you know, texting you or whatever because you're not in school or whatever. But people are like texting you and saying good, and, you know, I think that's really important. Even if it's not the best podcast like people have listened to of mine, you know, it's still nice to hear though. It's a bit of an endorphin.
It's actually it's a good point as well though, because like it's also as well like I wouldn't like if my mates brought it up like every second. Like it, like my mates would say like they'd say it for like a second, but then they'd leave it, and then we just talk. Like it's good to not like how do I say this? Is like
Gloat.
say
I'm fucking bad for that though. When somebody mentions like the podcast, yeah, then I start like giving them my life story about it.
yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, you do have to be careful with that, because if you just talk about yourself the entire time, then people are going to get bored of you. So I think
Yeah.
I quite like, to be honest, I actually quite like it when people don't bring up stuff about me and we can just talk about other topics. Like fair enough, bring it up for a few seconds, but then afterwards, let's just talk about something else. We don't need to be dwelling on that too much. And I think, yeah, like some, yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, but I don't. Yeah, I agree with you, but there are some bits where it's like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I guess to an extent, I think everything's the extent and the perfect balance. Have you received any hate?
Oh yeah, well, just for the podcast or just in general.
Podcast and filming. I'll just base it
Yeah.
on you.
Oh man, like when I started doing like videos and stuff like that, I get ripped into every day in school. Like people
Yeah,
just be like,
yeah, and it's like I know, and it's the same. It's happening now. Same with me. I'll let you finish first before I talk about myself.
yeah. I mean, like I think, like yeah, I'll be getting ripped into every day in school, and I think, but you also have to like sometimes like my mates would slag me over it, and it's trying to find the difference between when
Okay,
someone's just
is it mates or no? I have no problem with mates doing it, but people that you don't know.
no, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to find the difference between them just trying to have a genuine laugh with you, and it's all good fun. But then there's actually people who just want to genuinely just annoy you and be dickheads about it. So I was trying to find the difference between that.
What is the objective from that though? Like, what the hell do you get from it? And like, there's this one lad, and at first it was funny, it's something new, and it's an all boys school, and obviously people take the mic and whatever. But then like nobody's laughing at this point, and he keeps saying the name caught in the web. And if you're listening to this, yeah, I hope you do, because by the sounds of it, he's a little fanboy. Like he loves my content, but he seems to like it so much by the event he talks about it. But I went up to him and I was like, "Are you okay?" Like and then he walked away from me, but it's
Yeah,
like to be honest, it doesn't bother me because he's not slagging me,
yeah,
but like I think like what you get from you don't get anything. Like I don't really get bothered when people bug me, but when they're bugging something about my family or whatever, that's when I have a problem. But I was just like, man, because he at this point he'd be saying about 25 times a class, like no cap.
yeah.
But I think
No,
do you think when you
they,
go back to say, yeah, go on.
when they bring it up, like bring it up once or twice, but then once they start saying it too much, like you need to know to shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
said it, cool.
have a
Now
bit of
let's
cop
move on.
on. Have a bit of cop on.
Yeah.
Do you think when you go to school now you're gonna get a bit of slack off the lads, or
Yeah, absolutely. But I've been doing videos for like 3 years.
you're already used to it?
I'm already used to it. Like,
Yeah.
and it's still, there are some days when it actually does get under my skin. I'm just like, shut up with you. But I'm like, it's like when I come back, it's gonna be nothing new. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I think I don't see the point in it. I don't really see the point in it. I don't know about yourself, but I think it's part. I think it's part of life, and as a famous quote of sorry, go on, yeah.
No, I understand it to an extent, but yeah,
No,
no, I
I don't
think,
understand. I don't understand people with malicious intents. Anyone with a malicious intent, I don't understand it. A friend of mine they can slag it, yeah. But if someone with malicious intent, there's no reason. It doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit me.
exactly, yeah.
But like I think hate's part of every aspect of life, and I think it's important to not let them things in. And I think you have to be thick-skinned to be able to survive in a lot of
You
industries
do,
where you
and
put yourself out, especially where you put yourself out in the market.
absolutely. That's like at the start, I didn't have thick skin at all, so it actually did really annoy me at the start, and I just learned to just kind of, and
It's
even
what
till,
film, yeah.
yeah, no, well, yeah, just making the videos and filming and everything like that, and even till this day, like I still annoys me some days, and just like getting used to it and just ignoring it, and eventually as well, if you like show that you don't care like whatsoever, then they won't get any fun out of it anymore, and they'll just stop anyway.
And now, before we talk about that, do you think it's a bit of a fear and jealousy aspect?
Oh yeah, with some people, absolutely. So some people are just genuinely trying to have a laugh, but then others definitely,
It's like it's
yeah.
like it bugs you that that you're doing good,
Yeah, sorry,
Just
100%.
just getting back to there what you said, because I cut my train of thought off and I was going to write it. What did you just say there 2 seconds ago before we just said this? You said
Jesus, how am I so slow? What did I say?
man,
I was saying, what the fuck did I say? You're gonna get slagged over it, and I think, just about getting used to it. Is that what I said? What
I honestly
did I
can't
say?
remember. No, it was something you said about it being thick-skinned and
Oh yeah, being thick skin, just like at the start, I didn't have thick skin, and it's just about getting a bit thick skin and just kind of ignoring it. After. Oh yeah, if
oh
you
yes, actually that's what it was. That was what it was.
ignore
Okay, to thick skin, yeah, and ignoring. Okay, now I've had this debate with people, and I think ignoring works to an extent, but I think if you ignore it, I think they believe that. I think nowadays, bullies or whatever you want to call them, think that ignoring is the form of acceptance into submission, and I think, excuse me, pardon me, that by actually, subduing and not standing up for yourself, that they think they can take more of the mick out of you.
yeah, and it depends on each
The
situation.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect
And there are
balance.
some, I absolutely once again, I absolutely do think if some people, if you just stay silent, they think then they can just rinse into you even more and more.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
I
about
think, okay, okay, so let's say they're rinsing into you, you say something back to them, unless you go up to them and, and you show them, like, you're not gonna get pushed over. But I think a lot of people nowadays, on their own, they're nothing, but when they're in their little groups, they're, you know,
oh,
the
very
three
true, yeah, very.
musketeers. Amazing. But yeah, so I think that's it for today, Kevin. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. I had absolute pleasure, and I don't know what to be saying at the end of these podcasts anymore to people. And I remember you saying, you say cheers. I know. I think pleasure. I don't know, but yeah, cheers. Thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a really good podcast. I think this one was quite nice. We talked about you. We talked about everything, so it was
I
quite
love these
nice.
chats. I love these
And
chats.
I think it's nice chatting in general. The podcast helps in a way, to express yourself, and art's a medium where you can express yourself. So do you wanna plug your social and your
Yeah,
podcast?
sure. Yeah, so just had Viral Convo show on Spotify and just Viral Convo on Instagram, and my
So
personal
you're
account is
on
just at
the
Kev.
charts. You're on the charts now for, sorry, I'm gonna extend this like
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
did last time. You're on the charts now on Apple. Apple
yeah,
has such
yeah.
better facilities though to show how well you're doing than
Yeah, no, it's
Spotify.
true. They do absolutely, yeah. I was gonna, yeah. So we're in the top 200 for society and culture in Ireland, which is cool. That's cool. And yeah, we're there, which is class. And yeah, so Kevin
First
Meggs on
milestone of
Instagram.
many.
Sorry,
First milestone of many.
first, hopefully for number one maybe soon. Who knows? But
That's the
yeah.
dream.
Well, that is the dream, absolutely. So yeah, just Kevin Meggs on Instagram. Meggs is like literally, I've never met another, apart from the people that I'm related to, I've never met another human being called Meggs on the second name. It's such an odd name. But anyway,
Yeah.
Meggs. And yeah, that's Kevin Meggs on Instagram, Kevin Meggs on YouTube as well. And yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
shout out on the YouTube. So thank you so much, Kevin. And I'll definitely keep in touch with you, man. Cheers. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolute pleasure.
Absolute pleasure.